Good evening everyone and welcome to Dear Joe TV. I'm glad na makakasama ko uli kayo ngayong gabi and we are continuing our series on the 9 signs of a healthy marriage. And those who shared their comments and thoughts last week, maraming salamat po for your encouragement. Last week we talked about the importance of being able to create an environment in our marriage where we can comfortably express our feelings and thoughts sa mga asawa natin na hindi tayo matatakot na pagsasabihan nila, i-judge o mamamisinterpret na normally nauuwi sa away. It's a healthy place where you can be vulnerable to each other and still feel safe. Hindi nga ba maganda na pwede mong ipakita yung kahinaan mo sa asawa mo and instead of being judged, you will get encouragement and support instead? Today, I will share the second indicator of a healthy marriage that is very foundational in holding relationships together. According to the Relationships Indicator Survey, the top 4 reasons kung bakit nagbe-breakdown yung mga relationships are: number 1, financial stress; communication difficulties; different values; and number 4, lack of trust. A healthy marriage is where a husband and wife trust each other. Kahit sino siguro yung tanungin natin, they will all agree that trust is important in any relationship. Sabi natin mahalaga ang magtiwala. But what does it really look like in our day-to-day reality sa buhay nating mag-asawa? A marriage without trust, parang kotse na walang gas. You can stay in it for as long as you want, but it will not go anywhere. The truth is, you cannot really have a relationship with someone you do not trust. In my almost 34 years of marriage, gusto ko lang i-share sa inyo yung mga natutunan ko about what trust looks like para sa mga pang-araw-araw na buhay natin. Bilang mag-asawa, number 1, trust means listening and supporting each other. Ito palang challenge na for most of us. Ang nangyayari kasi most of the time, we listen less and we react more, di ba? Nakakalimutan natin na ang role natin when our spouse speaks is to listen to understand, hindi to listen to react. Trust in marriage means pwede mong i-express yung nararamdaman mo knowing that your spouse will be there to support and encourage you. And you can be vulnerable and know that you will be loved just the same. Number 2, bilang mag-asawa, trust means showing kindness and consideration. Tayong lahat, we have a set of expectations sa mga asawa natin. At sa mga pagkakataon na hindi nila nami-meet yung expectations natin, we get frustrated. How do we express this frustration? Naiinis tayo, nagagalit tayo, we end up resenting them. Trust in marriage means meron lagi tayong allowance dapat for our spouse's mistakes, yung mga pagkukulang nila, o yung failure nila to meet our expectation. It means always being considerate, understanding, kind, and forgiving. Number 3, bilang mag-asawa, trust means you have to try your best to make sure that your words match your actions. Many times we fail in this respect. Merong disconnect yung pinapangako natin, yung sinasabi natin, sa actual na ginagawa natin. Dito nag-uumpisa yung lack of trust dahil paulit-ulit tayong inconsistent sa mga sinasabi at ginagawa natin. And mas mahirap sa mga asawa nating pagkatiwalaan tayo because of this. Words are meaningless kung wala tayong intent to follow through them. Sabi nga nila, say what you mean and make sure that your words and actions match and prove it. Number 4, bilang mag-asawa, trust means you can exercise a level of freedom in your actions na hindi ka pagdududahan, imo-monitor, or iko-control. Meron kasi mga asawang laging natitempt na mag-investigate sa ginagawa ng asawa nila, yung activities sila sa social media, o yung parang laging may lingering desire to look into their cellphones. Emotional infidelity, I know, is even more rampant today because of technology. Mas madaling ma-divert yung attention natin sa ibang bagay o sa ibang tao, even if they're complete strangers to us. Kasi they are more accessible than ever before. Yung mga away about social media or about sa mga text messages can be traced to trust issues ng mag-asawa. Sabi ko nga, kung wala kang tinatago sa asawa mo, kaya mong iwan yung cellphone mo sa kanya na hindi ka kailangang magbura ng text or messages at mag-clear ng call history mo. Trust is built when you genuinely care about how your spouse feels about certain issues and you make an effort to resolve them. Ilan lang ito sa mga practical ways to show trust in our marriages. Remember, gaining trust takes time. And trusting is a decision you make as a spouse. Kung ano yung gagawin ng spouse mo about this trust, that's their choice. If you're having issues in trusting your spouse, one of the most important things that you can do is to talk about them in an honoring and respectful manner. Maging open ka sa feelings mo. Be honest with your thoughts. And be transparent with everything that is going on in your mind. I just want to summarize trust in 5 words. A healthy marriage is always where a husband and a wife spend time together in an honoring manner. Second is respect. A healthy marriage is where there is mutual respect for each other's feelings and boundaries. And there's also understanding. A healthy marriage is where there is, first and foremost, a sincere desire to understand each other, to set realistic expectations, and not to allow the offense of the other person to rob you of the joy of being able to celebrate your differences. Sacrifice. A healthy marriage is where one looks after the needs of each other and where you put your spouse needs above your own personal needs and desires. It is where both you and your spouse make sacrifices for each other to make your relationship better. And finally, thankfulness. A healthy marriage is where you have an attitude of gratitude for each other. Be thankful and i-appreciate mo yung effort ng spouse mo. Never take your wife or your husband for granted. Let them know that they are important and that you are thankful that you have them in your life. Ernest Hemingway said, the best way to know if you can trust somebody is to trust them. Trust is the key in making your marriage thrive. I hope and pray that this is something that you will consciously work on as a couple and by God's grace, deepen your love for each other and make your marriage more meaningful as ever. Thank you for joining me again tonight. I'll see you next time on our Dear Joe session. I'm Joe the Mango. Trust your spouse and may God bless your marriage.